In the headlines, stakeholders urge bold, innovative solutions to Nigeria's insecurity. President Tinubu orders Defense Minister Matawale to relocate to Kebbi over abduction of schoolgirls. Panic in Kano community as terrorists attack Gulu town. Away from Nigeria, ECOWAS warns terrorism surge now as existential threat to West Africa. A warm welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Mimuna Bagudu. Now, northern Nigerians' influential elders, policymakers, and cultural leaders have issued a strong call for bold and innovative solutions to the region's persistent insecurity and development challenges. Now, speaking at the opening session of the Ariwa Consultative Forum's ACF 25th anniversary celebration in Kaduna, the chairman of the ACF Board of Trustees, Alhaji Bashir Dalhatu Wazirin Dusi, said the North must urgently adopt modern development models and empower young people and reduce inequality. The report.
Alhatu stressed that inclusive development, not just economic growth, must define the future of northern Nigeria. He said the ACF intends to create opportunities for less privilege so that both the haves and have-nots can thrive together. Reinforcing the forum's message of unity, he echoed the mantra, "The North is one people, one North." Alhaji noted that the celebration was taking place against the backdrop of a region deeply scarred by years of violence and instability.
We are also doing this in earnest and with all sense of responsibility, knowing fully well the dire security circumstances that our region and our people are going through.
Former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, retired, described the forum's 25-year milestone as a moment for reflection, an opportunity to assess past progress and chart solutions to future challenges. He said the event focused on youth under the theme Creative Economy. Engaging the youth is critical to addressing the region's development gaps. Buratai also highlighted Nigeria's rapidly changing social landscape, noting that the country is no longer homogeneous and requires new approaches to unity and development.
The forum that was formed primarily to promote an interest that is specifically regional, but of course with national outlook.
Minister of Arts and Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, in her remarks on tourism for security, argued that tourism can serve as a strategic stabilizer for the nation, helping to strengthen peace and economic resilience.
Now, to our security agencies, please walk with us. Safeguard our heritage, protect our dream. Your role transcends enforcement. You are partners in nation building.
Representatives of Yobe State Governor Mema Labuni, National Security Advisor Nuhu Bado, and the Chief of Defense Staff also addressed the gathering, calling for national unity and emphasizing tourism as a tool for promoting peace and reducing insecurity in the north and across Nigeria.
Around the world, nations have used tourism to reclaim areas previously affected by conflicts by restoring public confidence, encouraging community policing, stimulating economic activity.
The National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, under strategic guidance of the National Security Advisor, has therefore prioritized community engagement, development partnership, de-radicalization and reintegration, countering terrorist financing, and protection of critical infrastructure.
While the armed forces of Nigeria remains resolute in combating threats to the physical environment through targeted intelligence-driven joint operations, managing the information space is equally as critical.
While honoring victims of insecurity over the past 15 years, Al-Hatu insisted it was time to demand more from security actors. He acknowledged the sacrifices of security agencies, but said the region must now seek further, better, and more effective means of confronting the security challenges. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
President Bola Tinubu has directed the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, to relocate to Kebbi State following the abduction of 24 schoolgirls in Maga town on Monday. A statement by Presidential Advisor Bayo Onanuga said Matawalle is to remain in the state and coordinate security operations to secure the girls' release. Gunmen stormed Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School around 4 a.m., abducting the students. One girl later escaped, leaving 24 still in captivity. President Tinubu has suspended his planned trips to South Africa and Angola as he awaits further security briefings on the Kebbi abductions and the recent attack on worshippers in Kwara State. Matawalle, a former Zamfara governor with past experience handling mass kidnappings, is expected in Birnin Kebbi on Friday. And now to Niger State, where the state government on Friday condemned the kidnapping of pupils from St. Mary's School in Papiri, Agwara local government area, saying the incident occurred after the school reopened without government clearance despite a prior directive suspending boarding activities in the area. And details of the attack remain unclear, but according to Daily Trust, multiple sources said several students were taken during the midnight raid. The head of Department Disaster and Relief Angwara local government, Ahmed Abdullahi Rufai, who confirmed the attack on telephone, said the terrorists stormed the school between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., adding that the actual number of abducted students and staff had yet to be determined as authorities continue their assessments. In a statement signed and released on Friday by the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Usman, the government said it had received credible intelligence warning of an increased threat in parts of the Niger North Senatorial District. He noted that as a precaution, the state had ordered the suspension of all construction work and the temporary closure of boarding schools within the affected zone. He added that the exact number of pupils taken remains unconfirmed as security agencies continue to assess the situation. The SSG explained that security forces have launched a full-scale investigation and search and rescue operations to secure the safe return of the abducted children. The incident comes just days after a similar attack in Maga, Kebbi State, where 25 students were kidnapped, heightening concerns over the deteriorating security situation in educational institutions across the region. On Thursday, over 50 schools were shut down in Kwara State as a result of rampaging bandits. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on the federal government to immediately declare a state of emergency on insecurity after yet another mass abduction of school children in Niger State. Atiku, reacting to Friday's attack on St. Mary's Primary and Secondary School in Papiri, Anwara local government area, warned that the rising wave of kidnapping demands urgent and extraordinary action. Gunmen stormed the Catholic-owned school and over 60 motorcycles and a van, abducting an unspecified number of students. The incident comes days after bandits kidnapped 26 students from a school in Kebbi State, killing a vice principal who tried to resist. It also follows the recent abduction of at least 30 worshippers during a deadly attack on a church in Kwara State. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the attacks and directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to visit affected victims. Now, residents of Gulu in Rimin Gado local government area of Kano State are living in fear after armed robbers attacked the community on Thursday night. A resident, Hamza Haruna, said the gunmen arrived around 8 p.m., fired shots at the town's market, and then stormed the shop of Isa Medusa, stealing a large sum of money. The attackers, numbering between 4 and 6, continued shooting as they operated, sending residents into panic. Haruna noted that no security personnel arrived until Friday morning. He said the community once had a police station after 30 years ago and appealed to authorities to restore it to improve security. And now to Nasarawa State, where the State Police Command has debunked reports claiming that students of St. Peter's Foundation Secondary School in Rukubi, Doma local government area were abducted on Friday. Police spokesperson Raham Nassel said the viral accounts circulating on social media and in some news outlets were false. He explained that the scare began when students saw armed hunters near the school and fled, mistaking them for kidnappers. Their teachers later escorted them safely back to class. Now, Nansel said the Commissioner of Police, Shetima Jauro Mohammed, deployed a joint police and military team to the area after receiving the distress call. The school proprietor also confirmed that no abduction occurred. The security personnel are maintaining surveillance around the community. The police urged the public to disregard the false reports and advise the media to verify information before publication to avoid causing panic. The Benue State Police Command has uncovered a major criminal hideout in Makurdi and in a separate operation rescued 6 children from suspected traffickers along the Orokam-Enugu Road in a statement on Friday. The command's public relations officer DSP Udeme Edet said officers responded to a distress call around 6:30 p.m. on Thursday and traced a stolen Bajaj motorcycle to a compound along George Akume Way in Makurdi. Upon arrival, patrol teams met a large crowd at the location. After gaining access, officers discovered 11 suspected stolen motorcycles, 47 motorcycle seats, fuel tanks, 3 mattresses, criminal charms, a single-barrel firearm, and other items believed to be linked to criminal activities. The statement noted that 2 suspects fled the scene but were later intercepted by members of the public. DSP Edet said the individuals were taken to the Federal Medical Center, Wadata, where they were confirmed dead. The State Criminal Investigation Department has taken over the case. In a separate operation earlier that day, police operatives in patrol along the Orokam-Enugu Road intercepted a suspicious vehicle around 5:05 p.m. inside where 3 women, Monica Okonkwo, Nkiru Nwosu, and Oyechele Francisca, all from Umede, Oka, Dunukofia in Anambra State, transporting 6 children. And DSP Edet said the children have been placed under protective care while the 3 women are in custody as investigations continue under the state CID. Now moving on, despite the revival experience in the early 2000s with the arrival of modern multiplexes introduced by various entertainment companies, cinema culture in Nigeria remains largely urban and continues to decline. And today, many residents say the combination of harsh economic realities and the rise of cheaper, more convenient digital alternatives is steadily eroding the once vibrant movie-going tradition. Aisha Abdulmumunin reports.
Cinema has long been a global platform for leisure, storytelling, and entertainment. However, in Nigeria, many regions remain undeserved, limiting accessibility and making cinema outings a luxury mainly enjoyed by the urban elites. Residents say harsh economic conditions have made it increasingly difficult for people to afford cinema tickets, adding that there are now several affordable alternatives that offer a more convenient family entertainment experience.
Everything now is expensive. If you go to cinema, you hear that just one small movie now you hear 8.5, and it's not what everybody can afford. I would say no, we cannot afford to go to cinema at this time.
Why not? People can still afford to go to cinema, but it won't be like when the economy is stable, because majority of Nigeria now, they are struggling to survive under the pressure of this regime. This administration is not friendly at all. At least majority will be at home just streaming online from their phones.
Cinema is a very entertaining place. So if you come, it relieves you of all the stress of the country and everything. And you can also watch with your phone at home, your TV. Also another way to entertain yourself. Just the fact that the economy is very hard. There are other ways to entertain yourself in your house.
Of alternatives. We all have a smartphone. What you just need to do is just to subscribe. You download your movie box or you stream on live Netflix. By sitting down at home, you can just connect to your TV, because TV that they are doing now, it has a Bluetooth where you can connect and you can begin to watch online movie and the rest of them. So there's no any need for you coming to cinema. Cinema is just like when you are having a lot of money, you can just come for fun, but it's not for this time around.
But Bala Musa, a cinema operations coordinator, disagrees. He maintained that the middle class and above can still afford cinema visits despite current economic realities. Musa also explained that cinema have created outreach programs to give children in rural communities the opportunity to experience the big screen.
There's a future for the business, but what is there also is we know that the economy is somehow, but I know the business is doing great, but the fact is that we also need the government support. We need other collaborations with the government and all of that to make things easy, most especially for those people that were not able to afford to come to cinema. You understand? If there's a program that festive period is coming, like Christmas period, Salah, thereabout, you understand? Like a government subsidizing the cinema to enable people to come to the cinema. I think it has a long way to go. Like programs like that, you understand, subsidizing the price and subsidizing everything for the public to come and all of that, I think is better.
As Nigeria's economic culture struggles to retain its audience, stakeholders say its survival will depend on accessibility, affordability, and a renewed connection with communities beyond major cities. Aisha Abdulmominu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is News Update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. From shillings to naira, Kaduna trader turns coins into history. More news when we return, to stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories once again. Stakeholders urge bold, innovative solutions to Nigeria's insecurity. And President Tinubu orders Defense Minister Matawale to relocate to Kebbi over abduction of schoolgirls. Now moving on to more stories, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has disclosed that it has convicted 4,111 corruption cases worth 566 billion naira within the past 2 years, including prosecutions of 5 former governors and ministers. The announcement was made during a one-day capacity building workshop for civil societies and journalists on cryptocurrency fraud held in Maiduguri. The commission dismissed claims that it prioritizes internet fraud cases over high-profile corruption cases in its anti-graft efforts. Dele Oyewole, EFCC media head, urged the public to remain vigilant against financial crimes that erode trust and destabilize the economy. He also called on media stakeholders and the public to actively participate in the fight against corruption, emphasizing that the commission will remain steadfast in tackling corruption, fraud, and cybercrime.
A commission is able to arraign 5 former governors, 5 former ministers before the court, then it will be wrong for anyone to say that our effort is largely directed towards internet fraudsters. Let me tell you, you know, the present reality today in this country is that the so-called internet fraudsters, the so-called Yahoo boys, they are wreaking more havoc, terrible havoc on the economy than any other set of people. And for us to come out of this perception, we need to realize the fact that the anti-corruption fight is a broad-based fight. It's a fully integrated fight. It's not a fight that is focused on one typology of crime or the other.
The issue of fighting corruption cannot be exclusively left to the FCC. We need community engagement. And we cannot directly, in some cases, go to the community. You are the mirror. You are the media and the CSO are the ones that actually have direct access to them. So that was why we now organize and start with you first. This issue is kind of a prevailing issue. This is what is happening in this country now and in the whole world.
Now, the British shillings and pence introduced by the colonial administration replaced the cowrie shells that once served as Nigerians' primary legal tender. This was later succeeded by the Nigerian pound, which in turn gave way to the Nigerian naira, Nigerians' current currency. Although many of these old coins remain legal tender, they are no longer seen in daily transactions. Instead, people now keep them mainly for historical or archival purposes. In Kaduna, Abubakar Suleiman earns a living by archiving old and current Nigerian coins, which are still legal tender, at his shop near the Sheikh Abubakar Gumi market, where he is committed to preserving history. Now, Trust TV's Bello Musa reports.
Though he also sells scrapped phone parts, Abubakar Ismail's true passion lies in preserving Nigeria's history by displaying old coins and naira notes, especially for the younger generation to see. I preserve these items for the younger generation because many of them have never seen them before. People often come specifically to view these old coins and old naira notes. I don't buy them. I collect them from people. I do it out of passion because I love documenting history. A large heap of coins here, including old British currency. Ismail can identify them one after the other. Old 2 naira coin. This is 1 naira, and this used to be 12 kobo, which is now almost equivalent to 100,000 naira. This is the 3 kobo coin, and these are old naira notes. This one here is the 1 pound note introduced by the British. 3. Ismail says he enjoys steady patronage from people who come from different places to see his archival collection. People who come here to see the old currency often leave gifts of money. I have recorded a lot of success from that support. Operating from a temporary roadside stall and without formal education, Ismail still nurtures a big dream for his archival business. My dream is to build a place of my own where I can preserve not only old currencies, but other important historical items as well. He appealed to Nigerians to preserve their history for the younger generation so they can understand their roots. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
And now in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says its ongoing reforms are restoring stability to the economy, but stressed the need for deeper coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities to sustain the gains. And speaking at the 2025 Seminar for Finance Correspondents and Business Editors in Abuja, CBN Deputy Governor M.M. Usoro said coordinated policy actions over the past 2 years have begun delivering measurable improvements across key economic indicators. Osoro recalled that when the Olayemi Cardoso-led management assumed office, Nigeria faced multiple pressures, soaring inflation, a volatile exchange rate, depleted external reserves, and a backlog of foreign exchange obligation, all of which threatened financial system stability. She said the CBN responded with well-sequenced compliance-driven measures, including orthodox monetary tightening, strengthened corporate governance, and the ongoing bank recapitalization program. These measures, she noted, align with the federal government's broader reform agenda. Osoro added that moderating inflation is supporting a gradual decline in lending rates, while improved discipline in the foreign exchange market has boosted investor confidence. Osoro also highlighted the media's role in shaping public understanding of ongoing reforms, noting that effective communication enhances policy credibility. Now, away from Nigeria, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Touray, has warned that the rising wave of terrorism across West Africa and the Sahel now poses an existential threat to the entire sub-region. Touray issued the warning while briefing the UN Security Council during its 10,047th meeting on counter-terrorism cooperation. He said terrorist groups are increasingly targeting economic lifelines, including fuel supplies and trade routes, in what he described as economic warfare. He outlined ECOWAS' efforts to rebuild trust, advance political dialogue with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and tackle the social-economic factors fueling extremism. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also briefed the Council, expressing concern over the worsening security and humanitarian situation in the Sahel and calling for stronger regional and international action. The meeting was chaired by Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio, who stressed that terrorism is a global challenge requiring renewed global cooperation. With that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news. Join us at 9 p.m. on News Hour for subsequent news bulletin. I am Mimuna Bagodo. Thanks for watching.